So prior to the start of our official program, we have two distinguished personages who asked to speak before us today, two candidates for a judicial statewide office. And the first is Matt Wolford, who is running for Commonwealth Court, a proven legal expert with a deep understanding of government and the law. Throughout his career, he has litigated cases in state and federal courts, as well as quasi-judicial state agencies, many of which were argued before the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. Please join me in welcoming Matt Wolford.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I greatly appreciate it. My name's Matt Wolford. I'm running for the Commonwealth Court because I want to push back on government overreach. I've been a lawyer for 38 years. I'm in Erie, Pennsylvania. I've been a private practice. I'll go through a little bit of my background and then tell you why I'm interested in the Commonwealth Court in particular. I've been married for 32 years. My wife is here somewhere, I think. We have 4 children in their 20s. They're all doing pretty well, and so that part of my life seems to be squared away. It's all good. I went to Penn State undergrad, and I went to Temple Law School in Philadelphia. I thought I was going to stay in Philly and be a big shot lawyer down there. My dad died, and I wanted to get back to Western Pennsylvania, so I took a job in Meadville, Pennsylvania. And then I ended up staying in Western Pennsylvania. My first job down in Philadelphia was with a personal injury firm doing asbestos litigation only. I was only there about 9 months or so, and then I started working for the Attorney General's Office Torts Litigation Section. I don't know if Matt Wolf is in here somewhere, but he was one of my colleagues at that office. So what you do there is you defend Commonwealth agencies, PennDOT, state police, that sort of thing. That's where I learned to do civil litigation. When I moved to Meadville, I was an environmental crimes prosecutor, which is basically a state prosecutor, and so I learned to do criminal litigation. That job involved environmental stuff, and I enjoyed the environmental law practice, and I wanted to learn about it. That's how you learn as you work for the government. So I went over to what used to be called DER, it's now DEP. I was the water lawyer in Meadville for 4 years, and I was getting ready to leave government service, and they promoted me to being in charge of the office. So I was in charge of the Northwest Regional Office of the DEP. So that's my background. And I remember one state committee person saying, well, if you ever work for the DEP, I could never vote for you. And I get that, but I've been fighting with the DEP for 25 years, ever since I left. And most of my clients are people like oil and gas industry, trade associations, that sort of thing, private property owners, farmers, landowners, things like that. That's what I do. I'm a champion of private property rights and personal freedoms. So why do I want to have a judge position on the Commonwealth Court? I was talking to somebody earlier today. They said Justice Brobson, a lot of people don't know exactly what the Commonwealth Court does. Justice Brobson, when he was running, framed it this way. The Superior Court protects us from each other, and the Commonwealth Court protects us from the government. And that's really what they do. So if you think about what the Commonwealth Court does, is they deal with cases that are government only, state government, local government. And as a result of that, they are the gatekeepers of our personal freedoms and private property rights. So any case that comes in front of them, they either side with the government or they side with the people. And if they side with the government, guess what? You just lost some personal freedom or some private property right. That's just how it is. And most of their cases deal with those things. As a result of, and I've seen that in my 38 years, I've seen the court drifting left. The whole country's drifted left, but in particular, the court has drifted left, and it sides more and more with government. And every time that happens, we lose something. Either it's private property rights or personal freedoms. And so what we need in the judges right now in Commonwealth Court, particularly now, and I'll explain that in a second, is common sense, conservative judges that actually read the Constitution and follow it, and read statutes and follow it, don't legislate from the bench. This stuff that's going on with judges stopping the President of the United States from doing his job is crazy. And that needs to stop. That's not what the Commonwealth Court does, but they do deal with similar issues. And so that's what we need, are common sense conservatives. I've been a conservative since I went to Penn State, as I said. Ron Reagan ran for president then. That was my first election where I voted for Ron Reagan. And I've been a Reagan conservative ever since. I believe in limited government. And one of the problems, I don't know if anybody was at probably most of you were at this REINS Act lecture that was earlier today. This is my wheelhouse. I was sitting there taking it all in, because if you fight the DEP, this is what you deal with. So, and it's all government agencies. It's just their natural way of doing things. They have a good idea, we need to protect the environment, and then the regulations start to come, and then they come, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. And you reach a point where you can't do business in Pennsylvania anymore. We become totally uncompetitive, and people want to go to West Virginia, they want to go to Ohio. It's ridiculous. We need people like the panelists today to roll back on regulations, and we need courts that are prepared to stand up to the administrative state, and that's what I'm prepared to do. Thank you. So this fall, we have an election. There's 4 seats that are Democrat held, 4 seats that are Republican held on the Commonwealth Court. And I can tell you right now, if a Democrat gets elected, then you're going to have a court that sides with government more often than not. And it's really that simple. And so if you don't want to continue to have our personal freedoms and private property rights eroded, we need to get a Republican in there. We need somebody who's going to be electable in the general election. At the Pennsylvania Bar Association does a review of how they rate candidates. My primary opponent decided not to participate in that. I got highly recommended. That's actually the second time I've been reviewed by the Bar Association and gotten highly recommended. So I would appreciate your support on May 20, and I would appreciate your support thereafter. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And our other speaker running for statewide court is Judge Anne-Marie Wheatcraft. Judge Wheatcraft has dedicated her career to making Chester County a safer and better place to live, work, and raise a family. For the last 13 years, she has served as a judge on the Chester County Court of Common Pleas and currently serves as its president judge. During her time on the bench, she has consistently handed out some of the toughest punishments on violent criminals. Please join me in welcoming Judge Anne-Marie Wheatcraft.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time. I am Anne-Marie Wheatcraft, currently President Judge in Chester County. I have presided over every type of case, civil, family, dependency, criminal. Before being elected judge, I was a prosecutor. So I have tried and presided over every type of criminal case, from DUIs to murders. And I am very well known in the state for my work in criminal court. The state has me come every 2 years and teach newly elected common pleas judges how to be criminal court judges. So every 2 years I get half a day to teach brand new baby judges how to be criminal court judges and how to run jury trials. But they keep on inviting me back, so I must do okay. I also have statewide recognition for my work in treatment courts. Diverting nonviolent offenders to treatment courts is something that I think makes our community safer, and it's something that I have dedicated a large part of my career to as well. So people have asked me, why are you running for Superior Court? I am the head of the judiciary in Chester County, which is a great place to be. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that I decided to run for Superior Court because I see what has been happening since we lost 2 Republican seats 2 years ago. Currently, the bench sits at 8 Democratic Superior Court judges and 6 Republican judges, and the decisions coming out of that court are more and more left-leaning. I have personal experience with what happens when we have activist judges on Superior Court who do not apply the law as it is. I had a gang rape case that I tried and won. The jury verdict was overturned by Superior Court, and the men were released from jail. And that's what happens, that's what can happen when we have activist judges on the bench, and we cannot afford any more of that. We cannot afford for Superior Court to become any more lopsided. Superior Court decides search and seizure law. They affect the way that police officers do their job. And I have a vested interest in that. My son is a police officer in Chester County. And how police do their job is often decided by Superior Court. So I also participated in the Pennsylvania Bar Association's process. It is an extremely thorough process. I had to submit a large packet of all of my career information. They review opinions that I've written on major cases. 3 attorneys from across the Commonwealth, one from Pittsburgh, one from Central PA, one from Philadelphia, do an investigation. And they go through the docket and call random attorneys who have appeared in front of me and ask them what they thought about being in my courtroom. They call the district attorney, they call the public defender. They collect information from everyone to determine whether or not they're going to recommend me to be a Superior Court judge. And I was also, Matt mentioned that he was found to be highly recommended, and I was as well. It's their highest acknowledgement. And why is that important? It's important, ladies and gentlemen, because who cares the most about who the judges are on the courts? It's lawyers. When I was a committee woman in Chester County and an assistant solicitor in Chester County for our Republican committee, whenever we had judicial candidates, everybody turns to the lawyers and says, what do you think? Who do you recommend? What do you think of this person who wants to run for common pleas judge? And whenever I am meeting at this point with lawyers and law firms, trying to put myself in a position that somebody who represents me can then say, will you contribute to her campaign? Because of course I can't ask. They ask me 2 questions. First, what's your qualification? What's your expertise and experience? Why should we support you? And the second question is, what did the Pennsylvania Bar Association say about you? Because that is the vetting process. So ladies and gentlemen, that is extremely important when it comes to raising the money that we're going to need. The Democratic candidate for Superior Court is a judge from Washington County, and he's going to go through the same process. And it's really important that you have a candidate who is at the equal expertise recommendations. I have the local FOP endorsement already. That puts me in a position to get the statewide FOP endorsement. And when it comes to the general election, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost a lot of money to get the messaging out that we need to get out. Most of that money comes from lawyers, law firms, PACs that are administered by lawyers and law firms. And that is why that Pennsylvania Bar Association recommendation is so important. People were asking me last night, why should I support you over your primary opponent? And ladies and gentlemen, that, besides the qualifications of where I am already in my career, that Pennsylvania Bar Association recommendation is the answer. My opponent has not participated in that process last time or this time, and last time there was not enough money raised, and this is absolutely nothing personal. This has to do with us not allowing any more Democrats onto that bench. So I am asking for your support. Please encourage everyone, all the Republicans that you know, to vote in the primary, all the other people in the world that you know to vote in the general election. I'm humbly seeking your support. Thank you so much.